Welcome to Chopping It Up. You know who it is, you know what it does. It's your boy Leo. As always, we got the co-host. Holla at him for the one time with that ugly hoodie.
It's BWill. He's hating. It's Mr. Laker out here. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Niner. We live in. We live in. I don't know why he wants to start with such negativity, but it's all right.
Oh, I ain't gotta start with negativity. It is what it is. This is Laker Hater 101, baby. Anybody that knows it knows it. And yes, Lakers ain't it. But it's cool. We got the NBA finals. No Lakers. We just got done with the conference finals. Again, they weren't over there either. But we got a matchup here. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder going against the Indiana Pacers. And I mean, I'm just going to jump right in because I'm really wondering, is this matchup the best overall matchup in the finals since Miami versus San Antonio the first time when Miami ended up winning in seven? Well, I'm going to let you kick this one off. Talk to me. Is this one of those best matchups, or can you think of something that just fits a little bit better?
I'm gonna go a little bit further back. I know you said from 2013. That was a good matchup. That's number two on my list after a phenomenal. And I'm only gonna say this because both teams were absolutely stunted. Like at the time, they were both ridiculous, especially when you go back and look at the squads that were going up. And it had the history behind it. It had stakes behind it. It had superstars behind it. It had Hall of Famers on both sides behind it. It had a game seven in it. And of course, that's the 2010 Boston Celtics versus the Los Angeles Lakers finals. That was peak finals. Then the Miami one. This one, I wouldn't put it up that high, uh, I, just because personally, I think it's going to be a beat down. I don't think it's going to go the requisite game seven to be an instant classic matchup. I think it might be a 5 or 6 game series that has some blowouts along the way. Not a rock fight. Not a I can't tell who's going to stick this out. But so to answer your question, no, I don't. The best finals in the last however many years I can think of is that Celtics Lakers win. That was a better finals.
Hell no. What you talking about a series that y'all had to hurt Kendrick Perkins to even get to game seven. And oh my, of course he gonna pick a Lakers series as the best overall matchup. Man, you can miss me with that. I hear you. No, no.
We talking about a Celtics team with Paul Pierce, KG, Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Kendrick Perkins, but even the benches, Big Baby Davis, free him, uh, Rasheed Wallace, who already had uh, the experience to beat the Lakers in the finals, uh, Tony Allen, who we are going to talk about how he's one of the best defenders that I've personally seen with my own two eyes playing in an actual game.
Hold on. No one has argued the people that play in the series. I get it. I get what the point you trying to put out there. As you said, this is before you have the Miami Heat versus the San Antonio Spurs. You want to talk rosters? You want to talk legends? How many Hall of Famers were on that Spurs team? You're gonna count a bunch. How many Hall of Famers were on that Heat team? You're gonna count a bunch. That one didn't have an injury to push it to go somewhere. That one was two teams slugging it out. That was the actual birth of a superstar S player, of a dude who became an NBA champion after the fact and won another finals MVP. That was the creation of a lot. And that was after that injury plague thing you putting out there. I get it. I understand. Mr. Laker want to bring the Lakers into it. I'm not going to sit there and knock y'all title. Y'all figured it out. You took out Perk. Rasheed had to play the five. It didn't work. Y'all got a dub. Congratulations. I will not take that from you. But I'll be damned if you're going to try to act like that Heat Spurs matchup wasn't a more level. playing field.
You're talking about baby Kawhi. Kawhi who
Baby
could
Kawhi
only
that won a
who
Finals MVP, right?
baby Kawhi.
That won a
We're
Finals
talking about
MVP.
okay, he did win a Finals MVP, but
Okay.
all I'm saying is you're talking about the baby Kawhi. I'm talking about the teams both had their 5 players all in their actual primes, actually built to where they were going to
Stop it.
be.
Stop it. Nope. Kevin Garnett was
No,
not in his prime with the Boston Celtics. You can stop that. There's not a basketball fan on this goddamn earth that's gonna sit there and act like Kevin Durant when he left Minnesota was still prime. Kevin
Kevin
Durant.
Garnett.
No, Kevin Garnett. I'm sorry. I've been
You-
pissed about Durant.
Durant got you.
Hey,
Durant got
he
you
been
fucked up,
yes.
bro.
That other conversation got me going. Garnett was not in his prime. Ain't nobody gonna say he was in his prime. And you know it. You know it. Paul Pierce wasn't in his prime, and you
All
know
right,
it.
we're not gonna.
Ray Allen was not in his when they played together, they were not in their prime. Don't even try to act like they were.
Oh my, kind of hit the original big three was not in their prime.
Hey, y'all jump into the comments. We gonna put a poll down, and it's gonna be a simple poll. Were KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen in their primes when they teamed up? I
Yeah.
guarantee you. I guarantee you 70+% say no, they were not in their prime. Guarantee it.
Hold on. How? Nah. There was still. There's no. They were not. You're the way you're talking is like the Celtics had Clippers Paul Pierce or the Nets version of Paul Pierce and KG or the last leg Ray Allen. Nah,
No,
them
I did
dudes
not say
teamed
that.
up. Them dudes teamed up still in their primes
No, they were
and
not.
won a championship. Won a championship the year before.
Yeah, and that was still not their
The
prime.
anything is possible year.
Yeah, and that was still not their prime. Kevin Garnett in his prime is MVP Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett in
Okay.
his prime is Defensive Player of the Year, Kevin Garnett. Paul Pierce in his prime is competing with Vince Carter and AI and all them trying to get back to an NBA Finals, trying to make an NBA Finals. Ray Allen in his prime was the athletic, dunking, playmaking, dominant Ray Allen that guess what? He was the true number one. You could put the ball in his hands. Shooter Ray Allen was not prime Ray Allen. That's Ray Allen adjusted his game, and still showed I'm elite. Paul Pierce, he wasn't in his prime, but he wasn't a bum. There's a difference between prime and fell off. I'm not saying they fell off, but I'm not going to sit there and let you act like those three got together in their prime. If those three got together in their prime, we would be having a conversation of what was the better big three, them or Steph, Clay, and KD. Them or Bron, Wade, and Bosh. Them, and we would literally just keep on pulling out those names. We don't have that conversation because they weren't prime. They were dominant because they all suited each other.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up some.
Hey, that's fine. I'll let you have that, but no, we are not going to act like
What are
they
we?
were.
What are we saying are prime years? When we're saying athletic prime years, I personally think whether the 6 year span of 26 to 32.
No, especially not in this NBA and not in that NBA when it was still physical. We had a
Well,
conversation about this a week ago where you sat there and said 30 is falling off. Where you was like, "Hey, you old when you hit 30. You 29 and you starting to limp through." So, we going to keep the energy cuz you either going to renege on that conversation or this one you going to have to sit there and admit, "Hey, they were not in their prime." They were not scrubs, but they were not in their prime. They were great together. But let's not act like them dudes was in their prime when they teamed up. We will not play that one. I'll take that as a dub. Don't worry. Hey, chat. We're gonna
No.
put that
I'm
in there
not
for
gonna.
y'all.
Let's keep on moving. The one thing we can't agree on is this matchup is not even holding water to the matchups we are. And shout out to Ray Allen for being in the same in two of these in two of these series, because one thing will change. The team's changed, but Ray Allen stayed the same.
Hey, make it do what it do. We gonna tap back there in a minute though, but I got a question because I really want to know: is Hali or Shai the next great point guard? And I understand Shai just got an MVP, but I mean we're talking Chris Paul, we're talking prime Darren Williams, we're talking John Stockton, we're talking some great names. Russell Westbrook, like to be the next great point guard, is either one of them next? And if so, why? Chop it up with me. What you got?
This is an easy answer. Hali, no. SGA, already there. Yes. He
SGA
went.
already
He
there.
went. He's already the who name a point the point guard right now that's better than him right now. That's not, you said, not falling off. So like I'm eliminating Steph. He's not. I'm not putting him in this combo.
I'm not
I'm not
eliminating
putting.
anybody. If we're having
I'm
a
not putting
who's the
Kyrie in
best
there.
point
I'm not.
guard in the league, you literally are making the work for me because I'm taking
All right,
all
you
of
know
them
what?
above Shea.
You take
I'm
the
taking Steph
league
above Shea.
MVP.
Yeah,
Shea plays better defense. Shea plays defense. Like, it's not even better defense. He is a legit defender. He plays both sides.
Shea is a
He
great
can D
player.
up, he can D up, and he can also drop 40 on your head. He can also not drop 40, but also get 15 assists. He could do some random. He's overall right now. Right now, I would take him over. And it's gonna hurt my heart to say this. I would take him over Luca, because we're gonna
Thank
get
you
this
for.
right.
I'm
Luca is a
glad
point
that you
guard.
are making the points for me because you asked the question and then you gave me most of my answers. Because yes, I'm taking Steph over Shea. No offense to you, Shea. You have a time that you can become that guy. You're not that guy right now. You're close. You are close. Because that's at the end of the day, before Russ averaged a triple double the first time, the first of 4 and 5 years, they were still hey, can he really lead the Thunder? Can he really do this? That was Kevin Durant's team, this and that, what that in the third. Maybe they should have kept Harden and just different things happening. Then he starts putting those numbers up, legitimizes things.
Oh, hold on. I'll let you. Actually, no, I'll back around to Russ Westbrook. Okay, go continue.
Yeah. So if I'm looking at guys that I'm putting above him, I'm putting up guys that have done things. Let's go. Steph, multiple MVP, multiple time champion, finals MVP, best shooter in the history of the league. His offense is enough. If Steph wants to put up 50, Steph will put up 50. It's that simple. His team allows him to not have to be the greatest defender. But let's not forget, Steph has led the league in steals before. Steph is a comparable defender. Is he a guy that's going to lock somebody up? No. But guess what? Everybody don't need to be. When you look at those great point guards, there's about 2 or 3 of them where you actually go, hey, that dude was locking people up. The rest of them, you're talking about their offensive overall game. So, yes, I'm taking Kyrie over Shea at this point. Um, just hey, let's go on what Kyrie's actually done. Luca, like you said, you already put him out there. I'm not putting him above Russ because Russ is on that fall off part, but Russ's resume says, hey, you still got a lot to sniff before you get to the point to when I was considered the guy. Can Shea do something this year to put him there? Well, hey, you win the finals and finals MVP. Now you're talking regular season MVP, finals MVP, NBA champion, best record in the league, scoring champ. Now we're talking about you putting something up there. Now we can start having the conversation. But to anoint him now? For what? Because he won an MVP? The last guy that we anointed, and it makes every basketball fan sad to talk about him and talk about him in that light, is Derrick Rose. Because he got anointed early. He won that MVP, and then the injuries got to him. If Shea ends up having one of those points, well, guess what? Hey, nothing, not putting it on him. But if injuries happen to Shea, is Shea an all-time great? That's a question.
Mm, depends on how the season. If he wins a title, yeah. But I just couldn't let you dump that Westbrook nonsense here. Yes, Russell Westbrook, phenomenal player. When KD left, could he lead the team? Not only did he come out with a chip on his back, he averaged a triple double for the whole season, won MVP. He shout out to the Brody. But I'm gonna let you know, 47 and 35. That was the record, their team record. They didn't even win 50 games. They were the sixth seed in the West. They were bounced in the first round by the Rockets. And that's how the MVP season of the Russell Westbrook peak, I'm leading this team to greatness team went. That was it. There was no second round. There was no conference championship. None of that happened. It was he won his MVP. He averaged a triple double. They didn't win 50 games. They didn't have home court in the playoffs, and they were bounced in the first round by a team that didn't even win the championship. So yeah, Westbrook, one of my favorite guards of all time. At his peak, breathtaking. But in the same breath, I'm gonna have to tell him he's at this point, Shai on his individual season has accomplished more than he did in his one MVP season. He number one team in the league, finals appearance, MVP. He's gonna get the first teams, all NBA teams, and things like that.
All things that did by the time he won his first MVP. By the time Russ won his first MVP, he had been in the finals, correct? Yes,
But
they lost.
you
They
said
lost.
as the guy though. You said as the guy. Is he the guy?
I said is he the next great point guard? You don't just
Mhm.
snap your fingers and they're that. That goes on your resume. It's not a 1-year deal that gets you to be that. That is based on your career, that is based on your production, that is based on your team. There's a lot of factors that go into that. So for 1 year, I can't say, and that's why I'm not giving it to Shai yet. Because Shai has had 2 years where you go, hey, you know what? That dude really special. And he's young. He's only in his 7th season. So it's not like we're talking about a 10-year vet, 12-year vet that we're going, hey, you know what? He's coming towards the end. Shai is hitting that prime marker that you just mentioned. Shai is 26 years old.
And Shai at 26 is a league MVP,
Yeah.
scoring champion, 3-time first team All NBA, 3-time All Star,
Okay.
has his team in the finals.
Okay. And Russ had multiple All NBA teams. By the time he got to the same point that Shai's at, multiple All NBA teams.
Okay, but it's what I'm talking about here. But as the guy, Shai's team won way more games than that Russ Westbrook led team.
Yeah.
Is much further, and I'm not even going to much further in the playoffs. A favorite to actually win the title, like
Yeah. Did Russ
on the
have
back of
anybody of the
his team.
caliber of Jalen Williams on the Russ
No,
teams?
no, okay, you can't.
No, it's
He played with Kevin. You're telling me he couldn't do this. He couldn't be the top guy when he had other guys that were good. So now
oh
it's
no, no. I'm just
SGA's
asking you
fault
a
that he has
question.
a decent
No,
teammate.
oh, I'm no, I don't knock you. Your team is what's around you, but you're taking one season for Shai, and you're saying, hey, this season is better than Russ's entire resume up to that point. And the reason it's better because even though Russ hit these markers, Russ this marker that he hit, he wasn't the man. So I'm not going to give him credit for it. This marker he hit, they didn't do this. So I'm not going to give him credit for it. The argument they're having the
That
argument
team,
in OKC right
look,
now that says if
I'm
he
looking at this.
wins,
I'm looking at this squad that Russ had, and
who fit
he
Jalen
had.
Williams' who was the guy caliber of Jalen Williams that was on that Russ squad when he won MVP?
Mm,
The fact you even got to think about
yeah,
it,
well, I'm like he had Victor Oladipo, but I can't remember if this is the season the season
Victor
before he got hurt or
Oladipo
the season
Victor
after.
Oladipo was not the Orlando Victor put up some numbers. After that, Victor was hurt. So Victor Oladipo was
He
not
had
putting up.
Domantas Sabonis. This team is a in 2055. Some nerds gonna look at this team and be like, Russell Westbrook is the worst player of all time because how he not bring a team with Domantas Sabonis, Victor Oladipo, Jeremy Grant, who is technically a great nerd. What
Okay.
is it?
So
Statistics player,
the guys
and
that you
Steven
just named.
Adams on the team.
So the guys you just named, we're gonna go Jalen Williams, better than Victor. Chet, Chet now, better than Sabonis was at that point. Steven Adams, I'll raise you Isaiah Harkenstein. Jeremy
I don't know about that, but I personally, you know, I,
Adams. Hey, I love
with
Adams.
Hartenstein, I'm not even gonna lie. With Hartenstein, he and I don't want to seem like a hater of Hartenstein
It's
because
cool. You're a hater of a lot of people. Go ahead.
nah, it's just like I don't know. Something about his game is just like mid, and I'm just like, damn, but he got a bag like out of nowhere. I didn't think he was gonna get the contract he got from the Thunder that quickly from after leaving the Knicks, but I don't know. But
Hardenstein is better
maybe
than
he could be a
Adams.
perennial glue guy. Okay, what?
Then you said Jeremy Grant.
Mm-hmm.
I can take Isaiah Joe. We could take Wiggins. I can pull a bunch of numbers out of guys. Just it's a better cast. I'm not gonna knock anybody for what it is. Your cast is your cast, and guess what? Look at your general manager if you want to be mad about it. At the end of the
They're the
day,
same guy.
can Shea be a great point guard? Yes, he for sure can. Anybody that wants to anoint him, in my opinion, as the great point guard now, for what? Like, what have you really? You've won one MVP. You've got the best
Three
record in the
first team
league
all,
one time.
three first team all NBAs,
Okay, so is Jason
three
Tatum
All
the
Stars,
greatest
lead.
small forward? Is Jason Tatum the greatest small forward in the league? He's been basically first team All NBA every year of his career. No, he's not. That argument you use, I could pull that out with a button. You're gonna go, no, that's not exactly. So we're gonna keep
Because he
that
hasn't won an
energy.
MVP. Because he hasn't been in the discussion for an MVP. His team won a title, and he wasn't even the Finals MVP of that.
He hasn't been in the discussion for an MVP. Tatum has been top 5 in MVP voting multiple times. He was second in Finals MVP voting. Did he win it? No, but guess what? Steph didn't
There's
win.
two. There's two. There's two
Okay,
people on this list
hold
that
on,
would have
hold on,
won
hold on,
that.
hold on.
Come on, man.
Steph didn't win Finals MVP until his 4th Finals.
Because he was saved by Iguodala,
He was
who
hey,
quote unquote
he was
who
saved
quote
by
unquote saved him by letting LeBron score still 30
30,
points, but
13, and 8.
but
30,
hey,
13, and
he
8.
was the MVP for it because it could have been a lot worse
But hey, no, I'm
apparently.
just saying. But Steph didn't have that. Oh well, he didn't get. No, they talked about, hey, he can't be the greatest of all time right now. I can't call him the best point guard. Period. But there was no conversation about, hey, well, Steph can't do this now, or Steph's not this guy now. I was like, no, Steph is that guy now. He's the best player in the league. He's the best point guard in the league now. He's the best shooter in the league now. I just want that barometer to stick the same because I love how it flips for so many people. Like if you're gonna crown one person based on them not having certain things, crown everybody that don't have it. Once they start checking the boxes, once they start lining up those things, then crown them. Because if that's the case, then hey, let's just call Shea the best point guard in the league. It don't matter that he don't have, and it don't matter he don't have a finals championship. It don't matter that he don't have a finals MVP, even if he gets them both. Hey, you know what? Forget it. Just crown him. It don't matter. Steph got 4 of them, but it's cool.
Sorry, there was.
Hey, this is what it
I,
goes when you shoot live, baby. Sometimes it's gonna happen.
yeah, I don't know if y'all heard, but I had the key to the car in my pocket, and it started making an alarm go off. So I was like, oh, I could hear everybody screaming, "Where's the key? Where's the key?" I'm like, oh shoot, it's still in my pocket, getting squeezed. But anyways,
But
as
you think you
as
got Say as a great point guard now, as the great point guard now, the best in the league. I say he's not. That's going to be again one of those. We'll throw a little poll up. We'll let them vote out. But
oh yeah,
I can easily
and look
name
at it.
3 guys.
Actually, don't even put a poll. I want you guys to comment it so that we can see the names. The names must be named of who you guys. If you're not saying SGA as specifically point guard, I want to see the names of who you guys are saying right
Ain't
now,
nobody
this
afraid
second,
of
going into the 2025-2026 season. Who is being named the better point guard? Who's the point guard you guys would rather have? All right,
That's
so
fine.
but one thing we can agree though, Halliburton's far off that list. Well, I
I'm
would
not
say
gonna.
maybe he's still maybe a top 5 point
I'll
guard,
say
but
I'm not gonna say far, but I'll say he's not there yet. Halliburton
yeah.
is closer than people want to give him credit. That's a
Oh
conversation
yeah,
that I can definitely dive into because Halliburton, he does it all. He
yeah.
just the way he presents himself, people don't like.
That and sometimes he's liable to drop 8 points in a conference finals game or like in a big moment. He's got a couple stinkers in big moments where it's just like,
So did
oh,
Kobe, so did LeBron, so did Steph, so did D Wade,
but his
so
are
did every other
glaring.
great. And so were
Oh, his are.
theirs. So were
Mm,
theirs. That's that point of,
his,
hey, I told you, we we are not moving that post because we'll
I'm not
pull them
moving
out
the
on
post.
everything.
Just
It's
saying.
I understand
Like all
they
those
all
people
had
you
them.
named, all those people you named won championships. So I mean, the goes away when you hoist that trophy. Just, just
Hey,
saying.
first time Pacers have been in the finals in 25 years. Second time in their history.
I know.
Literally,
I'm not
I'm
gonna say
overrated, and then I win the East. Put respect on the
okay.
man's name. It's easy. Like I said, what you're saying is literally the same gist of exactly what I said. You're just trying to reword it. It's the way he presents himself. There is some way that he presents himself that you
How
don't
did I
like.
say? What I
Because
didn't
if
say it
someone
wasn't the
else,
way.
if Luca dropped 8 in a playoff game, you're not going to use it as a glaring thing of anything. Fact or fiction?
Uh,
Fact.
you got it. Nah.
Fact.
If a healthy Luca with no injuries or anything plays a
Drops
full game
8
and only
in a
drops eight
playoff game,
points in a playoff game, we
you're
have
not going to
serious
go,
conversation.
he dropped stinkers. He dropped 8 and
He's got to
still
do more.
averaged almost 25.
He got to
He
do it more.
dropped
That
8.
he said the stinkers. There's more than once. He's done.
You
He's
might want to
liable to
go.
drop
You might. All I'm
two
gonna say is you
this
might
year.
want to go pull up his numbers because I pulled his final. I pulled his Eastern Conference Finals numbers last night. We had a conversation about it. The
Okay.
man averaged over. He averaged almost 25. Averaged, I believe it was 5.5 and 7.5. And actually, no, Siakam had one of those. He was like at 6.5 and almost 8, something like. That. Yeah, I understand what you're trying to put out there, and I'm telling you, it's the way he presents himself, even when you don't
And
realize it.
look, and I
That's the
understand
reason
what you're
he's
trying to say
voted.
with the averages, but I just want you to remember sometimes you don't got to take the final because your other scores were so high. Anyways, so if if you know what, I'm gonna say if and when OKC wins the title, if Shea doesn't win the MVP, are you gonna say it's gonna be Jalen who'd hoist the MVP if Shea wasn't the MVP?
If Shea doesn't win the MVP, and I had to pick a random name of somebody, I'm probably gonna say it's Chet. You're talking at this point a guy who plays inside and outside, has length, help defender, doesn't have to be the primary defender on almost anybody because he has heart inside. Can stretch the court, shoot threes, and has enough pub behind him. Because the same way you want to go, oh, Hali drops these bad games and these stinkers and wah. Jalen Williams is known to do that on a high occasion. Jalen Williams is a boom or bust player. He's had a whole lot of bust games.
And I don't
Just
want to
saying.
say this, but it seems like you show moving the line after you said that Russ didn't have a player as good as Jalen, but then you just said Jalen is a boomer bust player. But anyways,
Well, hey, we said averages, right? He's
if
averaging
this
about 20. He'll give you 35 in a game, and then he'll give you 12. And then he'll give you 37, and then give you 13. That's a boom or bust guy. But hey, consistently, he's going to take shots. He's going to command the defense to actually respect him. And in any game, he can go off. And that's way more consistent than Victor Oladipo was, especially with freaking OKC. And I like Victor. I like Victor in freaking Indiana.
Yeah, Victor, man. I remember people said Victor had the athleticism to be the next Jordan, and then he got hurt. Anyway, anyways, my choice. We're gonna give my pick. This is everything just went off the rails for this to happen. But we're gonna give my man the Iggy MVP. All right, we're gonna give Lou Dort the Iggy MVP
All
for
right, we moving
somehow
on to there. We moving on from that. We not even gonna play that game.
playing
So is
playing
Pascal Siakam? Nope, nope. I am not entertaining that nonsense. Nope. We are moving the hell off of that. Lou Dort will not have a stint on this show. So is Pascal Siakam the real MVP of Indy, or is it Hali? I'm going on record and saying, hey, it's Hali. It ain't no ifs, ands, buts to it. Siakam, he can score, and his averages, they run up there. He had 3 30-point games, and he had 3 games in the teens. He was giving you again that boom or bust. But those averages, what got him an Eastern Conference MVP. Because literally that man had 30, 37, and 39, I believe. And then in the teens, I believe it was 12, 13, and 17. Might be off by one of those numbers by one number. But that was his numbers. We're talking about mid-20s. Guy can do some things there. I'm going Hali. I'm going to dude that's going to give me 23 to 25 a game. Going to give me 7 assists, 6 to 7 rebounds, and command that you have to respect it. And when the game's on the line, a man that can make those shots and did, even though he called for the choke a little bit too early because it was only a tie. But I mean, hey, they still won it at the end, so I guess it still counts. But I'm going Hali. It's not close for me.
at this stage. In order for us to even talk about who would be winning a Finals MVP on the Pacers, it would have to be Pascal Siakam who won the MVP. Because you mentioned, yeah, he had some stinkers, but his stinkers still weren't 8 points. All right, you can't win an MVP dropping 8 points in the game. So it would have to be Pascal carrying a huge load. Pause, and you
Don't
know
start that. Don't start that.
what I'm just
Don't.
saying. He would have just as he was consistently delivering in the conference finals, he would have to consistently deliver as well as he's not. I'm not gonna say like a traffic cone on defense, but he would have to do do some good work protecting around the paint. Which I mean, they have Miles Turner to help him out with, but there'd be some of that also gets added in there, and him stepping up in certain spots, in certain critical moments. It would require for him to be the one to get them over the top in certain spots. I'm
Okay.
talking about like game tied at tied with 3 minutes to go, and he goes off for 8 of the next 10 points, type of thing,
Okay.
to
We're gonna do a
secure
little bit of a
momentum.
math. We're gonna do a little math quiz real quick. I just want to see what's higher. 31 or 17? Which one's higher?
Are we talking golf scores?
31 or 17? Which number is higher?
31.
Okay.
31.
Got it. 14 or 39? Which number is higher?
39.
20 or 17? Which number is higher?
20.
32 or 30? Which number is
Oh my
higher?
god! All right, tell me what come on.
We almost there. 32
The
or
bigger
30? Which
number. I
number is
didn't
higher?
even 32. Like
Okay.
Jesus.
8 or 15? Which number is higher?
We'll go with the
8 or
smooth.
15?
Yeah, we'll go with the Joker.
15.
15.
Okay. 21 or 31? Which one's higher?
Oh my god. We'll go with the Raheem Mostert. 31.
So in the Eastern Conference Finals, 3 games, Haliburton had more points than Siakam. 3 games, Siakam had more than Haliburton. The game where Hali put up 8, Siakam put up 15. When Siakam put up 17, Haliburton's putting up 31. Like, I understand. I'm just not going for that Hali disrespect. I'm tired of hearing the Hali disrespect when this man is literally putting up a 32, 15, and 12, and nobody want to talk about it and get that man the credit of being one of the only guy in NBA history to put up 30, 15, and no turnovers. No player's ever done that. Haliburton did that. Guy who's going to average double-digit assists, 7 to 8 rebounds, 24 points, versus a guy who's going to give you 25 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I'm taking Haliburton. That's it. I just wanted to make that point. I hear what you're saying about, this 8. He scored 8. He scored 15. Wasn't even that much more. But when he goes off and puts up 32, 15, and 12, and the other guy puts up 30 and 4, it's like, oh, well, he did his part. Yeah, he just created most of his shots. Haliburton is the MVP, baby. I'm sorry. I think right now you going 1-3 right now. I think you just took some L's in this matchup.
I can't wait for a part 2 that if the Pacers do win somehow, that Hali's over here pre-celebrating like, ooh, I got the MVP.
That was so cold.
And then they hand it to Pascal. Like right there.
Hey,
and like, oh,
that happens. I ain't getting on camera. I'm
fast.
laughing too hard. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be laughing too hard. But so the playoffs are almost over. We got the last matchup, at most 7 games, at least 4. And that's it. We're in the off season. Is basketball back after you've seen these playoffs? Is that the love of the game back? Are people looking at this now with like, okay, we playing basketball again?
Basketball is back, but not because they're going to look at it with we're playing basketball again. It's because all of the players that are about to get moved this offseason, it's going to be crazy. All right, y'all can run it back, and I'm telling you, my Celtics prediction that they're going to be moving some of them players this offseason is coming true. But also, we got players like KD. We already know he's going to get moved. Giannis, what's happening with Giannis? Is he gonna actually request this trade? Is he gonna get moved? Other players that people may have forgotten. Is Zion going to get moved?
How is that basketball back?
Because everybody's going to be paying attention to all of that happening in preparation for the upcoming season. New faces, new teams, new excitement. Who's gonna do well in their new spots? So
that's every offseason.
The draft with Cooper Flag is going to be eyes on the summer league, which I'm be there by the way to see. I'm hoping that the day I'm there is the day that the Mavs are playing. The Mavs and the Lakers are playing. Hopefully they playing each other, so I can catch that matchup, catch those young guys. But I'm telling you, this year is an exciting year of new players coming in. A lot of player movement. There's been it seems like a level of parity. How are these GMs going to be, doing what they got to do to make sure their teams are within the aprons? It's going to be a lot of movement like that. That's going to bring excitement and eyes to the NBA. And by proxy, yes, basketball will be back after these playoffs.
What? That was disgusting. Literally, basketball's back because no basketball needs to be discussed. That was that conversation. If basketball is back, we're going, hey, it's back because now we have parity. It's back because now you have guys fighting for spots. It's back because now you're trying to figure out who's the new face because different guys are stepping up and trying to be that guy. Is Anthony Edwards, is Ja going to get his head right? Is Shai going to step up and be the thing? Will an international player actually be the face of the league? Not just a season, not just a small nugget, but will they be the face of the league? That is what brings basketball back. To sit there and go, hey, you know what? The front office is going to be doing some things. That's going to bring basketball back. And we got an NBA draft coming up. Guess what? Zion was thought to be a prospect that was just legendary and different and all these other things. And his draft had better overall level of top tier than what the hell this draft got. RJ Barrett was expected to be better than Dylan Harper and what's the other old boy from Rutgers? Your teammates. Cool, Ace Bailey. I'm sorry, y'all weren't expected to be what he was. He was the player of the year in high school. He was the guy that was leading Canada. He was the guy doing all these things, and it was just meant to. He was bred for it. His dad is the general manager of Team Canada, and he's Steve Nash's godson, and woo woo wop 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 in third. Cam Reddish, Ja Morant, all these different names of, damn, this is a deep draft. Every few years you get that. I don't want to hear the draft is the reason the league is back. If the league is back, it's because I'm watching it. I'm not watching a general manager. I'm not watching the owner, and I don't give a damn about who y'all playing for the summer league. Yes, do some of them need to make teams? Sure enough, but I'm sorry, summer league ain't bringing you ratings.
That Cooper Flag versus Bronny James is gonna be on ESPN,
Cooper
and it's gonna
Flag
have over 1 million views.
Cooper
People are
Flag
gonna tune in to watch
versus
that.
Bronny James. You gave me one summer league matchup, and you know what I can give you? I can give you Giannis, no matter what team he's on. If it's not Milwaukee, going back to the Bucks, that's gonna beat that. I can give you potentially Bron's last season. Every time he's playing at some place for the last time that season, this might be his farewell. I can give you that. I can give you Steph Curry with Jimmy and Dre and whoever's still there. And if they make one of these moves getting somebody, is this their final hurrah? And that will give me more than a fucking summer league matchup.
I'm just saying that's the appetizer. Of course, all the other stuff and all the movement is why basketball's back because everybody's gonna be waiting for all the summer to end to get to the season to know is this Bron's last season? Where's Giannis playing? Is KD still on the Suns? Like all this
No,
stuff
he ain't.
is still gonna be there.
No, he ain't gonna still be on the Suns. He's getting the fuck out. That simple. But you can't sit there and tell me I gave you an appetizer and you ain't giving me the main course. I go to Roof Chris. I don't need them to bring me some mashed potatoes and not bring me steak. That's simple. I'm paying that money for top
You
flight.
said after the playoffs was over, right? We gotta go through all of we gotta go through all the other stuff to get back to the season for basketball to be back, and basketball gonna be back because the draft, summer league, and free agency is going to be wilding. All right, that's what I'm saying. Basketball's back, not because of these two teams who both traded Paul George and now have used those trade assets to make it to the finals. That's crazy. Is bringing parity back. It seems like what was bringing parity back is, hey, 76ers, y'all need to trade Paul George and get a bunch of picks and hopefully, matter of fact, you should just trade him and Embiid and just start it all over. Because that seems like that's the plan to make it back to the finals in 6 years.
Hey,
Trust the process.
the way to win in this league is depth. The way to win in this league is team. The big three, the big four, the multiple superstars. It's not the wave anymore. You got to have depth. You got to be able to throw bodies at people, and you got to make sure that they are efficient, confident, and ready to roll. You look at the teams that were left. That's what you see peaking on those teams, and the ones that weren't were the ones that were struggling. You got to be 8, 9, 10 deep. There's no question about it anymore. So your scouting department better get on their business. Your general manager better know his job. And your players in the offseason work out together. I'm tired of seeing them with Brinkley and everybody else. And it's, hey, you running with everybody and their mama, but anybody on your team. And then you get there and y'all talking about, oh, we ain't used to each other. Nah, because you used to playing with niggas you about to play against. Let's stop doing that and let's just, hey, do what we got to do. Y'all go to the Bahamas together if you need to and make that work. I'm sure y'all can rent out a gym. Your families will be happy with a vacation. That simple for me. But my last question, and for me, I'm jumping in first because it's annoying to me. I think every general manager and every owner needs to be regulated and they need to get grades on how stupid they are. Because I am tired of seeing coaches fired after a year or 2 years on a 4 or 5 year deal. And then you got franchises like the Phoenix Suns, like the Detroit Pistons, like the Milwaukee Bucks that paying 3 and 4 head coaches when you only got one head coach. And then y'all want to complain about players want money. Well, maybe if you wasn't paying $50 million in head coaching salaries when you only got one of them actually working for you, you'd be able to do better with making the players happy. You'd be able to do better with upgrading those facilities. So if y'all can't hire right, how about y'all quit firing 3 guys in 2 years and y'all get fired? That's my 2 cents, but I'm gonna let you jump on there. What's your thoughts on these coaches being fired and teams just paying motherfuckers to pay motherfuckers?
Look, firing an owner is crazy work. That's wild. I think we've only seen that one time, and he deserved that.
Yeah, he got forced out. Hey, you can't fire an owner, but you know what you can do? You can definitely affect that profit share, that revenue share. Hey,
Oh yeah. Uh, I think maybe it should be more of a the I think the GM probably should have more skin in the game for hiring a coach. Like, I understand you get to a place and the coach is already there, but if you hire a guy, you go through the process, go through all these candidates, um, have your team do all this background on the person, do interviews, all this stuff, all these resources to bring them in. And after 1 year, you're like, it didn't work. Let's do it again. That should be more of a look on the GM, because the coach was living his life, doing his thing, being a person, and you effectively, reached out to him to be like, hey, did all this stuff. So I think the GM should be um, more critical, more like the owner should there shouldn't be this level of the GM is super untouchable, no matter what moves they make. Because being Mr. Laker, we've gone through that recently. We've gone through coaches and coaches and coaches, and it does get tiring, because how are you supposed to build something? How's a coach supposed to draft somebody in the first round and they have a 4-year contract, but you only get that person you're only there for 1 season, you're only there for 2 seasons, and now let's say you got like a number 1 overall pick, now you're a number 1 overall pick. By the time they are eligible for a new contract, has gone through like 3 coaches, and you guys have gone through 3 different ways of playing, 3 different everythings. You guys still are terrible because there's no consistency, and the only thing that keeps changing and flipping around is the coach, not the GM who's putting together these coaches, not the GM who's hiring these coaches, not the GM who's putting these teams together, not the GM who's
It's cool. I
completely
got it.
messing it up.
I
Yeah,
figured it out.
it's a GM thing.
I figured it out. This is how you gonna solve it. You know how NFL does anonymous gradings of the facilities and the clubs and everything else, and they give them A, B, C, D, Fs. Yeah, let's start giving them general managers A, B, C, D, Fs. I guarantee you're gonna have a whole bunch of Fs running around, and they might not have that job too long when they keep getting F after F. When you done fire 3 head coaches in 2 years, you getting Fs for all them years. When you paying $60 million in salaries for people that's not on your staff anymore, you getting Fs. When the players don't want to play for you and they asking for trades, and it ain't because of the coach, it's because you set up an organization and a culture that is horrible, you getting an F. That'll get that general manager out of there, and that'll put that owner on notice. That's simple.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I would be interested to see how the players themselves would rank their situations, but sometimes that's just it's not how they'll.
They just
Every fan base,
stupid.
every fan base, every team has gone through a situation where they wish that both the GM and the coach can go.
No, that's not everybody. That's not everybody.
Every sports person has gone through that.
No, that's not everybody.
And one of their sporting things, you can't. I'm not counting the Spurs.
San Antonio Spurs, flat out.
I'm not counting the Spurs in this.
And they honestly, Pittsburgh Steelers.
But see, they got to have other fandoms. That's why I said through other fandoms.
One team, they could be a fan of one thing. They could be a fan of one thing. I grew up in Pittsburgh. We don't have a basketball team. I don't like baseball. I like football. I grew up on football. All I know is the Steelers. I grew up in Texas. Football is life. Football is king. I don't care about nothing else. San Antonio is the only sports team that matters in that area. Hey, all they know is greatness. I get what you're saying. I just had to play devil's advocate on that one. You got the exceptions to the rule. Majority, yes, you are 100% right. If you a true fan, you have went through the turmoils of I can't stand you motherfuckers. Yes. If you don't know that feeling, you probably not a real fan.
Look, I'm pretty sure we both wanted our GMs fired over the last off season.
Oh no, I ain't want my GM fired. I like James Jones, man. I wanted Kevin Durant gone. Hey, bro, I'm consistent about this. I ain't never.
Hey, listeners, I need you guys to write down in the comments who you guys want him to go off on, because there's 2 players that can have incredible rants. I need you guys to let us know. Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. One of those two, he will go ham on. He's going ham on off air, and I need y'all to put in who you want to hear him go off on,
All
KD
right.
or Kyrie.
All right. We'll do a poll for it. I'll put it up. We'll do a poll, Katie or Kyrie, and we'll wax the entire thing, and I'll let that go. But understand that is not safe for work. That will not be kid friendly. And I ain't
But he needs
apologizing
to let
for a
it go.
damn thing.
It's been going on. He's had this pent up for years.
I don't like Kyrie. I'm cool with you, dog. I ain't gonna say I don't like you, but Kevin Durant, I really don't like you. Like I really don't like you. So it is what it is. But we got the NBA finals coming in. So game one, picks in. OKC or Indy, game one. Who you taking?
OKC.
I'm taking Indy. I'm saying game one upset. We'll go from there and see what it do. But that's what we got for today. It was a beautiful show. I appreciate everybody for tapping in with us. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and BWill. I want you to send them out with what you want them to do.
Smile more and drink water.
Hydrate up, man. Love y'all. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for chopping it up.